What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? Good to see everybody. Let's get some tunes going here. Let me know how the sound is working out, everybody, please. Everybody hear me okay? Well, today we got raw ground beef with a little bit of raw liver, all 100% grass-fed. Raw unsalted butter, all grass-fed. That's how we do it around here, guys, you know? All you guys that have been watching me for a long time, this is how we do it. And I will say at the beginning of this video that I'm still doing consultations on the weekends via Zoom. Get a hold of me, 88668 at protonmail.com, and we can set up an hour one-on-one consultation. What's up, Phoenix Rising? Good to see you again, man. Will Willis Production, good to have you. Thanks for joining me on this Saturday evening. Connor Hines, what's going on, buddy? I think we'll start off with the liver this time. What do you guys say, huh? Raw grass-fed liver, very dark, very delicious. Very good stuff. Will Willis Productions, been eating raw for over 2 months thanks to you. Well, awesome, man. I'm glad to help. I'm glad to be an inspiration to health and raw foods. I know a lot of people that have been eating raw meat because of my channel. It's very flattering, and I'm just very happy to show you guys, because this is the real deal. I know you guys that actually do it are the real deal. Hello, Shelby. Shelby Page Thomas in the house. My favorite gal in the world. Who's in the room right behind me, but she's scared to be on camera. So we're doing the stream without her, and that's okay. Not everybody is up to be on camera all the time. Jabari, what's going on, man? Phoenix Rising says I might hit you up for a consultation again. Awesome. Cool, man. Yeah, anytime you want, man. Honestly. I know a few people have hit me up a couple different times for follow-ups and stuff, and for consultations we can talk about anything too, guys. Like, sometimes I get into consultations and we barely talk about food. We talk about food just a little bit, but we start talking about all sorts of other stuff, you know? It's fun. That's funny. Good advice, Phoenix Rising. Honestly, this is my channel. Even though I have a fiance and a wife, I'm still going to keep it like my channel, you know. We're actually going to do a podcast together Monday. So if you guys get on a podcast app, or just get on a search engine and type in Emily's Root Awakening podcast, you will be able to hear me and my future wife. And that's going to be recorded Monday, so it'll probably be out there sometime next week. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. I'm telling you, this liver The two things that have saved my life this weekend are liver and sunshine. Because it's been a long winter here in old Omaha, Nebraska. We're getting into the belly of the beast here. We're getting into February in Nebraska. It gets a little daunting how long the weather has been cold and no sunshine. But today we had 50 degrees, which is really good. And we've been eating liver, so we're feeling energized. Did she get raw into me because of me? Yeah. She did eat raw because of me. That's how we met. We met through my channel. I'm trying to stream more often, guys. I apologize for like the big breaks. It's just we're just so busy, dude. I'm working full time and I'm planning a wedding right now. It's just insane how much stuff we're doing. On top of having like a social life and just it's unbelievable. So when the weather gets nicer, I feel like streaming a little bit more, you know. Connor says he was just in Nebraska a couple weeks ago when it snowed and it was -10 wind chill. Yeah, that's right. When we got back from Texas, we were in Texas for about a week and then we drove back and it was chilly, man. About a month before that, it was actually about -15 without wind chill. So it was like negative like 30 or 40 wind chill, man. It was stupid. We had pipes freezing in the middle of our street. They had to like dig the whole street up. It was bad. Phoenix Rising says he's working 2 jobs trying to build his own empire. Good for you, man. Working hard is it's a virtue, man. It pays off. I've had multiple incomes for a long time, but first time I started doing that was when I was extremely broke and trying to basically had my own apartment, trying to get my own apartment, and so I worked 2 jobs, worked all day long from 8 in the morning until 10 at night, and I did that for a long time, and I made a lot of money, man. It's not something you want to do your whole life, but if you're in situations where you need cash, get 2 jobs, man. Get a full-time job, get a part-time job on top of it. Joseph P says, I just got my shipment of raw dairy from Amos Miller's. I'm so excited. I know that feeling, man. When I first used to get Miller's Farm orders, I would be so pumped. And I still am. I've been ordering food from those guys for 4 years. And I'm still super excited to get it. Because we always get like cream and sometimes I get their potato chips too, which are really good. Thanks, Miso. I'm definitely rocking the caveman, growing my hair out. We're not going to cut it for a while. We're going to see what happens. I'm like super relaxed right now, if you guys can't tell. Got a bunch of sunshine for like 2 hours today. Super chilled. Oh yeah, it's Phoenix Rising. You're still a pup. 38 years old. You're just a pup, man. You got plenty of life. How many pounds of food do I eat today? about 2 pounds. This ground beef and the liver were both previously frozen, yes. I'm 40 years old. H. We try to eat fresh as much as humanly possible around here. But sometimes it's just not possible, man. Liver. How do you switch to raw? You eat standard American diet right now? Just switch, man. Just buy ribeyes and chuck roasts and just start eating raw meat, and you'll see how you feel after that. You just gotta switch right over. So a lot of people ask me that question, man, and I don't really know how to answer it because I just jumped right in. Get some raw beef, get some raw fish like swordfish or salmon, and get yourself a nice raw fat source like suet, butter, things like that, and just start eating beef and butter and eggs. There's no real transition. You just jump right in because it digests actually easier than cooked food. FF says Scott says it's almost as bad as cooking. Yeah, Scott really doesn't know what he's talking about. I know exactly who Scott is. I've interacted with him. I've talked to him personally. He jumps on my channel and tries to tell me I'm not eating food correctly. I've been eating raw meat, I believe, longer than he has. I have more experience with it. I also have twice as much experience in life than Scott does. And one thing I know about life in general is you shouldn't just go around regurgitating what other people say without actually testing it yourself. Scott has no idea if freezing food is just as bad as cooking. The only reason he says that is because he read it in Autogenous Funder Planets' book. There's no proof of it. I'm not going to argue that fresh food is not better than frozen. Obviously it's better. But to say that it's almost as bad as cooking, what does that even mean? Exactly. I've been eating like 75% frozen meat for 4 years, 5 years, raw. And I'm probably the healthiest person that I know. Some people look at me and they say I'm the healthiest looking person they've ever seen in their life. So, is frozen food really that bad? I mean, I'm your example right here. Do I look unhealthy? I think if there's any difference, it's very minimal. And also, you can offset a lot of that by just eating fresh food from time to time. But you got to be careful about the strict primal dieters out there, man. I know you want to follow someone that knows what they're talking about, and you want to, there's nothing wrong with being as strict as possible. I think that's okay. But there's times when it's just not possible. Scott Primal also eats grain-fed steaks with glyphosate in them. So are you going to take advice from a guy that eats grain-fed steaks with chemicals in it? And he eats that just because he can get those fresh and that's what he can afford, or are you going to trust someone that eats 100% grass-fed meat because there's no chemicals in this? You know, that to me seems more logical than worrying about frozen versus cooked food, or frozen versus fresh. There's a lot of nuance there, but I would say just try it out for yourself and don't trust what other people tell you. You just gotta try it out for yourself. Joseph says, you eat ever picanha steak? I just had one that's so underrated. I don't think so, man. I'll have to try that. Derek says, what do you think about organic certification? In Sydney, I managed to find a small family-owned farm butcher that does a pasture-raised meats, but they don't bother with organic. Don't worry about organic certification. With vegetables and fruits, I would only eat organic, but when it comes to meat, I wouldn't really worry about it. I would just go with 100% grass-fed. That's more important than anything. Most of the time, a lot of farmers cannot afford the certification because there's so many hoops they have to jump through. So if you just get in contact and get a personal relationship with your farmer and find out how he farms, I would just trust that. H says, thoughts on getting raw milk but frozen? Does it ruin the whole point? It's all I can get in Melbourne Sally so far. That's a funny question. I was just ripping on people talking about frozen stuff, but I personally wouldn't drink frozen milk. That just seems a little weird. But I know people that do it. It's probably better than nothing, honestly. Especially if it's raw and non-homogenized. At least you're getting some raw fat. Because I think, if anything survives the freezing process the best, it's fat. Phoenix says, you told me once to try raw meat with honey. I did, and honestly, I'm not afraid to admit I'm wrong. I don't know if I like raw meat with honey anymore, personally. I don't think it pairs very well together. What's my ratio of fat to beef? I do it by weight, so I'll do 16 ounces of protein of meat, and then I'll do about like 3 ounces of fat. Nice. Jay Younggung says he's got some raw elk liver fresh. Oh yeah, amazing. It definitely is better fresh. I'm not gonna say that food is not better fresh, but to go around and criticize people that are eating frozen food is, I think, a little bit ridiculous. Because trust me, I'm like as strict as most people get with their diets, and I'm here to tell you that eating frozen food is not that much different, dude. And to freak people out about frozen food does more damage than the actual frozen food does itself, if that makes sense. A lot of people have to eat frozen food. You guys understand that? Especially all the Agenus followers. You have to eat frozen because sometimes it's all that's available in bulk. It's all that you can get like a deal on. It's all you can afford, whatever. It's the only way you can store it without going to the store every single day, stuff like that. So to freak everybody out about frozen food is kind of messed up, because you're putting fear into them about their food. When I know people that are, there's Olympic power athletes out there that all they do is eat frozen cooked food. You understand? Eating raw meat is not the only way to be healthy, guys. It is a fast track way to it, and it does get you to certain points of health that you can't achieve with cooked. But like I said, look at all the athletes in the world. Look how strong those guys are. Genetics is the biggest factor of all when it comes to your health. I have really good genetics. I could eat the standard American diet and I would be stronger and faster and smarter than 95 people in a room full of 100 people. I could eat standard food and do that. But I eat raw meat because I want to be my best version of myself. I don't knock anybody that wants to be strict with their diet to start off with. I get it. I was the same way. I was raw carnivore for a whole year. I didn't touch fruits or vegetables or anything. And then I started slowly integrating fruits and then cook starches back in and things like that. Now I'm a little more loose, and I get like Amos Miller's potato chips every once in a while with a little bit of salt, but those are almost too salty though. Every once in a while I'll eat a little bit of salt, but I don't eat salt daily at all. It's very rare, but I don't think my red blood cells are going to explode if I eat salt just because Ajahn has told me that. Maybe he's right, maybe he's not, but I just don't care. There's really more important things in life that influence your health, like stress, family relationships, loneliness, how much porn are you watching, how much weed are you smoking, how much alcohol. I would say as soon as you rectify, all of your personal problems, stop watching pornography, stop drinking alcohol, stop using drugs, then maybe you can criticize other people about what they eat, Max Minif says Alginus was just referring to protein bioavailability. Yeah, I read his book and stuff. Yeah, I think he said that, I don't know what he said, like only 30% of the protein is available in frozen food or something. Big deal. I'm eating 800 grams of meat every day. I'm getting like 250 grams of protein every day. It doesn't matter if I lose a little bit, And plus I eat plenty of fresh butter and dairy all day long, Jabari says, if I can't get grass-fed at the moment, should I still eat raw meat? Yeah, of course. Because it's always better eating it raw than cooking it. FF says, Agenus says, rain-fed, not frozen, is better than frozen grass-fed. How does he know that? Agenus didn't talk about glyphosate at all. I never heard that guy talk once about glyphosate. How does he know that there's no long-term studies on glyphosate. So how does he know that glyphosate is not poisoning your body? So he's recommending you eat poison. You understand that? Now, if he specified organic grain-fed, that's different. But when you just tell people that grain-fed, not frozen, is better than frozen grass-fed, you're telling people to eat poison rather than freezing their food. That, to me, is ridiculous advice. I'll never buy grain-fed steaks. Gold Liver says, ate a bunch of oysters and had to run to the toilet. Why? I don't know, man. That happens to some people. I've been talking to people over the last year, and that happens. It's probably just detox. They're extremely detoxifying. Jay Young Gun says, damn, $12 a gallon. I get mine for $7 a gallon. Yeah, I get $8 a gallon for A1 Holstein raw. And then we actually have an organic farm that sells Jersey milk for $3.50 a gallon, if you can believe that. It's unbelievable. Miso says, if frozen meat is that bad, then how would the Eskimos survive? It's stupid. If frozen meat is so bad, then how am I surviving? How am I 40 years old and I'm in the best health of my entire life? I've been eating frozen food for 4 years. And you can just track my progress. You can track my development over the course of my channel. You can see how my health has improved and how I've changed. I look completely different from frozen food. You guys got to be careful not to make Agenus your god. Raul, I know you're just joking, but You guys got to be careful not to put somebody on their pedestal like that and not ever question what they say. That's what people do with religious people, religious folks like priests, and that's how the priests get corrupt. Don't make Augenis your priest. Question everybody. What's up, Ederson? Bill Jim says Augenis talked about doing all his studies, but I've never seen any papers or evidence of his studies, and his stories are pretty far-fetched. Yeah, I know. See, I would believe more of what he claimed if I saw the actual experiments and studies, which he does provide for some of his stuff. But you're right, man. You can't just read something somebody wrote and assume it's correct. Like, seriously, just think about that for a minute. You're not going to question anything about it. You're just going to believe it. Most of it is intuitive, I'll give you that. Most of what Augenis said is intuitive, and it's logical, and he's a very scientific guy. But I think he embellished certain things, like especially the frozen food stuff. Or he wasn't very specific about what he's talking about. It's almost as bad as cooking your food, okay? But cooking your food is really not that bad. Because I know people that are extremely healthy people and they cook all their food. You understand? So it's not just so black and white, man. You know? Like I said, there's a lot of factors that go into health. There's someone, you know, like me, I can eat anything. And I was in better athletic shape and health than like 95% of people, and I just ate garbage, you know. Now I'm a lot better because I'm eating the raw diet, but you know, food affects everybody differently, man. And it's all, like the other person said earlier, prenatal nutrition and genetics that have a lot more of a factor than are you cooking it, are you freezing it, are you doing lubrication formulas, is it unsalted? It has to be unsalted, otherwise you're gonna die. You know, it's like all that stuff adds up over time, but there's way bigger factors that are influencing your health, and that is prenatal nutrition, genetics, childhood trauma, drugs and alcohol, how much porn are you watching? All that stuff brings your health down. Pinto says, been keeping up with the weights. I've been lifting like once or twice a week lately. But I still got my pipes, man. I'm still piped out. Maximus says, you used to eat grain fed. How much better do you feel now? Oh, I'm great, man. I believe we take on the energy of the animal. That's something that Augenis and Scott Primal don't talk about. You know? I talk about the metaphysical side of the world. We take on the energy of the animal we eat. You want to eat a grain-fed animal, you're eating an animal that's suffering inside of a pen, inside of a cage. I eat animals that are grazing on pasture their entire life. They're happy, they're at peace. Therefore, I'm happy and I'm at peace. There's people that eat grain-fed steaks and they get depressed after they eat it because they just ate a sad animal, and so therefore they feel sad. There's more to life than nutrients and studies and scientific studies and things like that. There's a whole metaphysical side when it comes to your food. Someone asked about butter being bitter earlier. Sorry I missed that. I just remembered that. Some of that has to do with winter butter. If you're getting winter butter, don't expect quality butter. It's okay, but it can taste a little funny sometimes. I don't think Amos's quality is going down, no. I don't know what male pattern baldness is, Shay. I don't know. Baldness is such a big question and topic with people. I personally think that like stress is the biggest factor when it comes to graying or hair loss. Other than that, I just don't know. There's so many freaking theories about it. I don't understand it. Gold Liver says Amos quality's going down. I think his butter was really bad. Also, he sent me salted cheese instead of unsalted and refused to refund me or send me new cheese. About the 5-pound block. Gold Liver, did you, on your order, did you say no substitutions? If you don't put no substitutes on your order, then they will substitute something for you. That's kind of messed up. He wouldn't refund you, but if you didn't put no substitutes, that's kind of the deal. Augustus Thunder Planet says, good to hear someone from the primal community not to be so religious about this diet, like it's all there is. Oh, trust me, dude. Whoops, I got butter in my beard. This is what goes along. This is what comes along with living on the planet for 40 years and having a little bit of life experience and understanding that there is so much more to life than what you eat. What you eat is an important foundation, but it's like the very first step in health and peace in life. And I've also learned that you should be very careful about what you think you're so sure about yourself about. If that makes sense. You should really be careful about once you learn something or adopt something into your life, about going around and preaching it to everybody, because it's like it's the new religion. That's what everybody does with the primal diet, because it's truly an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing to discover raw meat. But you go around preaching all this stuff to everybody, and then I did it too for a while. And then I realized I'm just like, what does it make a difference? Why does it does it really matter if I'm a strict primal dieter or I just like eat raw meat, you know? So I am a rule breaker and I don't follow the herd. That's what brought me here. And so I even break my own rules from time to time to see if they should be rules. And that's what I've done with this diet. I do it over and over again. You know, I go back and forth on salt to see if it works. My consensus on salt is we don't need salt, and the more I experiment with it, the more I really, really don't like salt. So I don't think it's a good thing. Things like carbs and starches, I experiment with that, and I realize that maybe once a week I need like a potato and that's it. I don't even really need it, but I crave it. But at a certain point, when you break away from the pack and you become a raw meat eater and you think you're this individual and this like trendsetter, but then you start following all of the strict primal diet guys, and now you're just a sheep again. There's no sacred cows in my world. That includes Augenus. He's not a sacred cow. Gold liver, some people don't do well with fruit and veggies at all. If that's the case, then don't do it. What do I think about Augenus' virus theories? Oh, I'm 100% on board with him on that. I love Augenus about his virus theories. Yeah, Augenus didn't talk about organs. He didn't talk about brain, which is weird. Brain is one of the coolest things I've ever eaten. Germ theory is fake for sure. It's a bunch of crap. Louis Pasteur, or Louis, he was a fraud and a plagiarist. T. Mueller, what's going on? Good to see you. Hachi says, I recently heard that when switching to raw meat, do it with cooked food slowly so you have digestive enzymes. For example, 10% raw, 9% cooked meat, and then slowly increase raw until it is fully raw. You can do that if you want. I didn't do that. Like I said, everybody's different. That's why you shouldn't... take advice from other people. You just got to have the courage to just jump in and try something, you know? And for me, I just ate a raw steak. And from then on out, I ate all raw food every single day. I didn't have to do that at all. Swordfish is the best tasting fish. Gold Liver says he refused to send me unsalted cheese. Yeah, but did you put, I'm asking on your order though, did you actually say no substitutes? Because if you order something and they're out of it, they will substitute something similar and send it to you. I know it's kind of weird, but that's just part of their policy. You have to put no substitutes, otherwise they will do that. They will send you salted instead of unsalted. They'll do that stuff. Ederson says, did you have much detoxification in your first year on this diet? I've been on this diet about 8 months and get detoxed every month. It wasn't too bad. It's hard for me to identify detox symptoms. I mean, who knows what you're feeling a little bit tired that day or something. I've never had any gastrointestinal issues. I had a couple pretty bad flus. That's about it. But nothing like daily or even monthly. I just had a couple flus. That's it. What's your thoughts on raw lamb? Lamb is okay. I like beef better. Best sources of fat? Bone marrow would be number 1. Number 2 would be grass-fed beef fat. Number 3, I think, is butter, raw butter. Joseph says, damn, I just bought a bunch of winter dairy. Oh, it's okay. So did I. I mean, you gotta eat in the winter. It's not going to be the best quality. Yusef, what's going on, man? Do I ever crave any veg? I love onions recently. The only veggies I ever crave are potatoes and rice. Is rice a vegetable? It's kind of weird to think of rice as a vegetable, but yeah, the only veggies I ever crave are potatoes and rice. And yeah, onions, sometimes onions sound okay, like as a little spice or something. But mostly I crave fruits, man, like tomatoes and avocados, stuff like that. How to transition to raw? Just do it, dude. How to explain STDs? Oh man, that's a whole rabbit hole right there. That one's a little confusing. But I think the viruses that they say cause STDs could be transmitted through bioresonance. But at the end of the day, it's all just detoxification, in my opinion. Yeah, Phoenix Rising, just email me and I'll send it to you. 88668@protonmail.com. One thing's for sure about STDs, HIV is a hoax. That's a bunch of bullshit. Am I detoxed? I feel like it. I think I look like it. I mean, skin's clear, eyes are clear. I have a lot of energy during the day. I feel pretty good. I don't drink, don't smoke, no drugs, no coffee. Yusef says having a hot bath once every week, is it enough? That's better than most people, man. I just got a relaxed far infrared sauna. How do you guys like that? All you autogenous lovers out there. I got a sauna. What do you think about that? But my head sticks out. But gets up to 155 degrees. And I'm in my sauna every single day. Yeah, and it's freaking awesome. You can do hot baths. Hot baths are great too. But the sauna has me dripping sweat in 18 minutes. Just falling off my body. Talk about detox. And it's far infrared light. So it's penetrating through your skin, getting into your cells, structuring your water. A little bit different than a hot bath. Just Donna says, if you're detoxed, you should sleep 5 hours and running marathons without training. I don't know about that, man. I've always slept 8 hours, man. It's just, my family, like, we sleep a lot. And marathons are gay. I'm just going to leave it at that. Running is gay. Lift weights and sprint or jump rope. Bloody Eggs says, how are the doggies doing? Good. You guys want to say hi? Say hi. Say hi, buddies. You guys want to give them a howl? Alright, headphone users. This is your warning. Give them a howl, guys. They stop as soon as I grab this food. I can hear that playing on her phone. Bill Jim says, that is man-made, extremely fucking unnatural. Saunas are unnatural, man. You know what else is unnatural? Making all your money off of YouTube and not having a job. You bum. Tupac Chopra says, I've heard near infrared light saunas have less EMF. Don't worry about the EMF. Far infrared light actually mitigates EMF damage. And also, if you have an EMF meter, you'll notice most of the time that the EMF inside the tent is less than outside the tent. So you're worried about EMF inside the tent when in your house you're getting bombarded with radio waves all day and your phone in your hand is frying you with radio waves. You know, there's a lot worse things to worry about. Do people who have HIV get it from a vax? No. HIV is all just lifestyle. It's your whole body is just dragged down from. I mean, it was in the homosexual community, and those guys a lot of times would party and use drugs and stay up all night and drink and eat shitty food and blah blah blah. That's gonna bring down your system so much that I think eventually it triggers like a massive detoxification. And that's all it was, man. It was just like living a terrible lifestyle. Thoughts on LASIK? Seems pretty legit. I've known a couple people that have gotten it in my family, and they're good to go. What's better, lamb or fish? I don't think one's better because you're talking about like a white meat versus a red meat most of the time there. So they're kind of different, hard to compare. But if I had to choose one to live off of the rest of my life, I would choose lamb. What do you eat when you have diarrhea? Cheese, raw unsalted cheese. The sauna is $1,500 on Amazon. Yeah, I've done research on it. I've listened to some podcasts on Extreme Health Radio about the sauna. It's the best sauna you can possibly get, dude. It's like 95% far infrared. A lot of saunas will say they're far infrared, but it's like a spectrum. They'll give you like far and near and a bunch of different infrareds. This one is like 95% far. And it just feels amazing. Like when you first get in it, it feels like you're like basking in sunshine. It doesn't feel like there's like a heater in there. It feels like it's like the sunlight like penetrating through you. It's a very interesting sensation, but I feel awesome afterwards. I still sleep in the Faraday cage every night, man. It's amazing. Do I drink vegetable juice? I do not, no. But I drink a lot of lemonade in the summer and I eat fruit. What's the brand of my EMF reader? It is called a Trifield, which is coincidentally the same one that Augenus recommended. I got it on Amazon for like a little over $100. I bought it used. Because you know how some things on Amazon, if you go down, they have like used options. A little washed out here. There we go. Sycamore and salt. My girlfriend passed a virus on to me this past year. Haven't been sick in almost 10 years. Parents got the same thing a few days later. You don't think it's possible? Well, it doesn't happen the way you think it does. They're not physically passing a virus on to you. She produced a virus from her body. Our bodies have an ability to read other people's bodies and their DNA. It's called bioresonance. So we have energy fields around us, and we can read other people's energy fields. Well, we can tell when someone else is having a viral detox, and therefore our body will also produce the same virus in our bodies that they're producing. So we start copying their DNA, we produce the same virus, and then if we're toxic, we will go through a detoxification just like they did. It's a herd defense mechanism. So viruses they're not physically transmitted over. That's honestly really dumb to believe that. That tiny little things are flying around out of our mouths and going into other people's mouths. That's retarded. There's something way more complicated going on, and that's when it gets down to energy fields. Things that scientists won't touch because they'll say you're cuckoo and you're a kook. Do I use a blender? What brand? Yeah, I think it's a Blendtec. What do I eat in the morning? I do a milkshake, 4 raw eggs, a little bit of milk, raw milk, and raw honey. Do I believe in shungite for EMF protection? Yeah, I do believe in crystals and stuff. I actually have this is some black tourmaline right here that I got. But I got that for Christmas. How do you find a female primal dieter? Start a channel, dude. Get on Instagram. That's how I found my wife. Get on Instagram, start a channel. There's a lot of raw meat eating women on Instagram, guys. Trust me. Join my channel on Instagram, or just follow my channel, and you'll find them. Hachi says I'm in the market for a sauna. If you want to put your link so you can get some kickbacks, just a suggestion. I don't have any links. I'm not really affiliated with Relax-Far Infrared. But just grab it, man. It's made by Momentum. Make sure you get the right one. And make sure you pay $1,500 because this sauna it's like exactly $1,500. There's no cheaper ones. There's no more expensive ones. The cheaper ones are knockoffs, and they're not the same thing. Maximus is contagious in the same way a yawn is. Yeah, exactly. Phoenix Rising says, are there any books on that? Bioresonance? I don't think so. That's a term that I first heard Tom Cowan mention. My Instagram is The Real Natural Human Diet. All one word. She did message me. Yep. Colostrum? Good stuff. If you're healing, I would recommend eating colostrum as much as possible. I don't need colostrum. Like, I'm pretty much healed, and I eat so much nutrient-dense food. I don't need baby's milk, but some people do. No, I wouldn't eat butter if you have diarrhea. Definitely not. Cheese is the only thing I know that helps stop it up. Occult Theocracy says, how come I don't get ill for a few years, even if I haven't been healthy, like occasional drinking and smoking? I'm guessing you're young. I didn't get sick for years at a time when I was in my 20s. When you're young, you detoxify very well. You don't build up, you don't accumulate stuff as well. And you haven't lived as long. I'm guessing you're in your 20s, occult. But I could be wrong. Maybe in your early 30s, but it starts to happen a little more often once you get older because you accumulate a bunch of toxicity. Yusef says why it's hard to eat raw lamb meat, lamb's heads meat. I tried it, but it took me an hour to chewing. I would try to chop it up, man, if that's the case. If it's too tough, just get some scissors and chop it up, or some knives and chop it up. Is my wife white? Yeah, of course. Florian says, what do you think about hydrogen inhalation and hydrogen in general? Thanks. I've been seeing stuff about that lately. I think Extreme Health Radio talks about that stuff. I don't know, man. That's getting a little bit too deep into the weeds for me. Inhaling hydrogen and all that shit. Like, talk about unnatural. Like, you're getting into some... Is that necessary? You know? I don't know anything about it, but it seems a little overkill to me. Unless you're, like, really sick. You know what I mean? Unless you have some kind of, like, terrible disease going on that you can't kick. I wouldn't mess with that. It wouldn't be necessary, in my opinion. Hey, what's up, Zulu Alpha Charlie? I just got done with raw ground beef, raw liver, and raw unsalted butter. It's a really good dinner, man. Yeah, raw ground beef is the real deal. Do I do cheese trains every 15 minutes? No. Not necessary, man. Occult Theocracy says, yeah, I'm 26. Yeah, I was the same way when I was 26, dude. Hardly ever got flus or anything like that. But I hadn't had a flu in like 3 years until last year. So, I don't know. It's just, there's so many factors that go into that. You say you used to get ill every winter, but I haven't this year. Well, you're probably, I'm assuming if you're following my channel, you're probably starting to live a more healthy lifestyle. And that's probably got something to do with it, man. Dictator joke, do you have any experience with pineal gland? Is it linked with semen retention? I don't know. Maybe. There's a lot of stuff written in religious books about semen retention and harnessing your sexual energy and how you ascend to higher levels. I think there's definitely something to that. I do believe that. Why do I say of course? Are you against race mixing? For me, yeah, I'm against it. For myself. Other people can do whatever they want. But I think it's a bit selfish for children, in my opinion. Very confusing for children. Let's see. What's up, Ellie Dan? Am I still doing the interview with Joey? For sure. We're doing that tomorrow. That's right. I forgot, guys. I'm doing an interview tomorrow with Joey Schwartz, I believe. And his channel is... Get that for you. Yeah, Joey Schwartz Carnivore. Yeah, his channel is just called Joey Schwartz. So check that out here, guys. Subscribe to him, and you'll see my interview on his channel. Have you ever considered a meetup for primals? Yeah, eventually. Yeah, we might do something like that. We'll see. UI 99. Holy crap, man! I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you. Love the facial hair. You look like a mountain man for sure. Yeah, we're letting it go wild. I'm just letting it rip. See how long I can get this thing. I'm surprised it's as long as it is right now. I didn't think it would ever get this long, but it just keeps going, dude. It's like dreadlocks down here. It's like all curled up. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get it. We'll see how long I can get it. Good to see you, man. Has been a long time. Spirit and Society says, how is it confusing for children? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Like, if you have like a, let's just say black and a white child, he's black and he's white. A lot of times they don't know where they fit in, you know? They don't fit into the white crowd, they don't fit into the black crowd. It's very confusing for kids. I don't think everyone is mixed race. I don't believe that. There's pretty obvious differences between races of people. Don't worry about what your kids think. I disagree with that too, man. I think kids are probably the most important part of society. What do I think about the theory of evolution? I think it's stupid. Doesn't make any sense. Do I have any thoughts on Sferia? I think his information is great, but I'm not sure he sold his soul or... Yeah, he's got some interesting stuff to say. He is... Yeah, he's definitely like, there's some good things about him, but like, just like everybody, there's like some downsides or whatever, but I've never met the guy personally. But I don't really watch his channel anymore. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to like slam the guy, but yeah, I think there's probably better people to watch. Still into Owen Benjamin? Yes, of course. What's up, Meet Bethy Med? Bill Jim says Elliot Holst described his confusion as a mixed race kid pretty well. Yeah, for sure. Yusef, have you lost any friends since you started the primal diet? My case is a bit tough. I've been trying to avoid being around people I know by all costs. I live in a judgmental brainwash society. No, I haven't lost any friends. I'm at the point now to where I have like a couple good strong friends and that's it. If anything, they respect me more because I'm healthy and taking care of myself. Iridology? Yeah, that's very cool. I love iridology. I think, did someone earlier ask about eyes changing color too? I might have missed that one. I think my eyes have gotten lighter for sure though. I think they've gotten like more light blue. It's hard to, lighting is like a huge factor in this, but I think they've definitely gotten like more blue, more clear. Spirit Society says a fully black person cannot, I don't know why not is in quotes, fit into a black crowd or a white crowd as well. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree. Education and community is key. Well, it's not even about color, it's about culture. It's about culture. When you bring all these different cultures together, it confuses people, and it screws up all the cultures. Black people and white people have completely different cultures. Asian people have completely different cultures. Indian people have different cultures. So when you start mixing cultures together, it's not about race mixing, it's about like culture mixing. And it just confuses the shit out of everybody. There's certain things that are okay in one culture that are not okay in other cultures. It's not a good idea, guys. I'm not like a radicalist or anything like that. I'm just a common sense type guy, and it's not a good idea to randomly mix a bunch of cultures together. Look how screwed up our country is. It's not a good call. Do I still drink water in glass bottles? Yes. I just rinse my hair with water. I don't wash it with anything. Lemonade is water, lemon, and raw honey. If you look on my Instagram, there's a recipe, but it's 1 part lemon juice, 1 part raw honey by weight, and then 7 parts water by weight. So 1 to 1 to 7. What's the cause of dandruff? Good question. I don't know. I get it every once in a while. I really don't know. At first I thought it was maybe like fat deficiency, but I eat so much fat. I don't know what it is. The only thing I can think of is it's like something in the water that I'm like washing my hair with, and it's like drying on my scalp. I don't really know. That's another mystery to me too. Hair stuff is a mystery, like balding and dandruff. I really don't know. Do I have any tips on how to overcome eating high meat? You just gotta do it, dude. You just have to jump right in. What to do if I don't have honey and I want to make a lubrication formula? Do without? Yeah, I guess you could. Why don't I keep making live streams every week? It would be fantastic. I want to do it so bad, man. Like I said, I work full time, and I also am planning a wedding right now. And we've been going out of town. We were out of town for like a week in Texas, and it's just been really busy. YouTube shadow banned me a long time ago, so I kind of went over to Instagram. If you want to keep up with me, guys, get on my Instagram, The Real Natural Human Diet. I'm on there like a few times a week, and it's just a little easier to do quicker posts on there and stay up with everybody. But like the amount of time I spend on this live stream here today is like the amount of time that I spend on my Instagram in like 2 or 3 weeks. So it takes a lot of time to like sit down and like do live streams, but I'll never stop doing them. I would love to do them more frequently, and we'll just see how much time I have here. Maybe after the wedding. Do I have any health issues? I do not. Yeah. I think what we're seeing is very similar to the Roman Empire collapse. Absolutely. Do I do milk baths still? I haven't done one in a while. It's probably been like 6 months since I did one. But every once in a while I'll do it. I've been doing mostly sauna stuff because I don't want to bathe in chemicals. My water is really bad. I should look into Varys Ahmad. He does great videos and research on tribes. Cool. What do I eat on travel? We ate mostly raw during the day, and then at night we would have like a cooked meal with the family. White Words Warrior says, frozen is fine, man. We Caucasians killed deer, and it would literally freeze after the kill in winters. Yeah, I know, man. Like, yeah, it's just, that's how you ate food in wintertime, you know? Just Donna says, how your beard looks like that if you wash only with water. I don't know. You don't need shampoo or soap or anything. I haven't used soap in my body in like 5 years, except for like my hands if I like get oil on it or something. But I also use a homemade beard wax made with tallow, coconut oil, and beeswax, grass-fed tallow. And then I rub that through my beard, which we're probably going to start selling, to be honest with you guys. So if anybody's interested in beard wax or like a body cream made from grass-fed beef tallow, organic coconut oil, and beeswax, let me know, because we're going to start selling it. Just Donis says, and do ancestors cut hairs if it reached ground? I actually learned something this year that I didn't know, and that's your hair will actually just stop growing at a certain point. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it doesn't grow forever, as far as I know. Kai Solis says, I use a 15-stage filter for my shower. I've had no skin issues. I probably wouldn't drink it though. Interesting. Is there like a brand name for that, Kai Solis? What kind of filter you have there? Muhammad Khan says, your beard looks amazing. Thanks, man. We went into we had a family dinner last night for my grandma's birthday, and I walked into the restaurant, and this old man bowed down to me as I was walking in. He goes, nice beard, nice beard. Phoenix Rising says, yes, down for the beard wax. UI says, yeah, definitely interested in that. Awesome. Well, stay tuned, guys, because I'm getting married April 1st. We got the beard wax recipe pretty much down at this point. I've been using it every day. It's like a nice cream. It rubs into your hands, and just we got it down to like a nice little recipe. So I'm thinking after April 1st is when we're gonna launch Primal Body Care. It's good for chicks too. Like my girl, she rubbed it on her body and stuff. White Words Warrior says, what do you think about super centenarians living to 115, eating cooked meat, eggs, butter, and some starch? Why would we do something more than that? I know exactly what you mean, dude. I think about that all the time. See, I'm not one of those indoctrinated dogmatic dudes with this diet. I think about shit like that all the time. I'm like, what about like Arnold Schwarzenegger? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he did steroids a little bit, but that guy was like breaking like world records, and he was eating like cooked food. You know what I mean? He might have ate a raw egg every once in a while, but that guy wasn't eating raw meat. And like, you know, you got like just extremely powerful, strong, healthy people that are eating cooked food, living forever. So you just got to think about that, you know? Sycamore and Salt says, confused, so someone with HIV can't pass it on to me. Sorry for the questions. I respect what you do. Yeah, I don't believe that's how it works. Look into it's called the, what are the studies called? The Padium? Damn it, I can't remember the word. But there was a study they did with married couples where one had HIV and one didn't. And they tracked them for like years, and they had sex like hundreds of times, and the other partner never got HIV. And it was like 30 couples or something that they tracked. The Padium studies or something like that. The Padium study, Padium, something like that. Just look up like HIV study with married couples, and you'll see it. But they've done studies on this stuff, and they could not transmit HIV from one person to the other. The same way that they've done studies on influenza and tuberculosis and all these other diseases that they couldn't figure out how to transmit it to other people. I do live in America. How does hair know how long it is? That's a good question. That's a great question. That sounds like a question like a little kid would ask you, and just like blow your mind. How does hair know how long it is? Well, maybe because, you know, hair, like I've heard it described as like it being an extension of your nervous system, and so it has an ability to detect like its surroundings. The place I rent runs on well water. It says Phoenix Rising. Is that good? Yeah, could be. I would test it. What's the ideal way to fast Ramadan holy month? What to eat in advance to be prepared for 1 month of fasting? So, are you just fasting on meat, or are you fasting on, like, are you just quitting meat, or are you just going to be drinking water? Let me ask you that. Where can I learn your beard routine? Says L. Well, it's pretty easy, man. I mean, you just grow it out. I trimmed it for a long time, but I haven't trimmed it now since August. I haven't touched it. I haven't cut my hair since July. The key, I believe, personally, is growing out your hair and your beard. You want it to be even. But you get a brush. Mine's like, it's not like a hair brush, it's a beard brush. It's got like real short, stiff bristles. And I brush my hair after I put the wax on. So I put the wax on, I rub it into my skin real good, I put it down, and then I take the brush and I brush everything down. It's all about sort of training your hair. You want to train it to go a certain direction. In my case, I train it to go down. Otherwise, my beard would be like out. So I train everything down, 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 so it sort of like grows down. And that's kind of what I've been doing. Cithunet says Arnold had 3 heart operations because of steroids, for sure. Fafu says, how long it took you to grow the beard? Not that long, man. Like, you can look at pictures of me from like August. I mean, it takes a while, don't get me wrong. To grow something like this, I'm guessing it would probably take me like a year or something like that to grow something like that. But I was trimming it. Like, I had it like, up to here for a long time, and I was trimming it every day. And then since August, it grew like all the way down here. Yeah, Primal Spirit, I mean, it depends on what you're going to college for, but I would recommend just saving your money, man. Unless you're going into something like mechanical engineering or electrical engineering or something where you know exactly what you want to do, and it's like, sort of like a very like masculine field. For the most part, it's a rip-off, dude. Like, you're gonna make way more money getting into a trade. Like, they've done like studies on people that go to college and people that just didn't go to college, and it takes you till you're like 40 years old to factor in all of the debt that you get and stuff from college, and how much money you missed out on making while you were going to school. So like, while you're going to school, you could be making like $40,000 a year or something. So if you go to school for 4 years, that's $160,000 that you missed out on that other people are making that didn't go to school. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then you have debt on top of that. Let's say your debt is like $100,000. Now you're $260,000 behind the person that never went to college. So it takes you till you're 40 years old. You may make a higher salary when you get out of college, but it takes you till you're 40 to actually make more money than the guy that never went to college. It's all kind of a joke, dude. But if you're going just because it's the thing to do, I would not do it. I would go learn a trade. You can make really good money doing trade work. If I could only eat 3 organs, what would they be? Brain, liver, and heart. Why don't I grow hair long only for beard? I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. I personally want to grow my hair out too. It seems like it balances it out more, personally. Do I believe in saving for retirement? Yeah, you should always save, for sure. I'm not sure how I feel about like 401ks and Roth IRAs and stuff like that. I'm not quite there yet. I don't really trust stuff like that. I don't trust the stock market. But I think saving for when you're older is very, very important for sure. But that's up to you whether you want to do stocks or whether you just want to do a savings account, which isn't really anything. What's it like having a beard? Does it get itchy? Do you sleep on your face? I sleep on my side. Yeah, I sleep face down on top of my face. No, yeah, I sleep on my side. Does it get itchy? Not really. Not. That's what's good about the beard wax, is it helps with the beard itch. But every once in a while, still sometimes a little bit. But it used to be really bad right here on my chin. But the beard wax takes care of that. How to grow a beard when you barely have any facial hair? I couldn't tell you, man. That's definitely a prerequisite, growing facial hair. Sycamore and Salt says there's a reason why it's called sexually transmitted diseases. It's through passing. That's interesting, a theory about HIV. My GM is 101 years old after eating nothing but preservatives. Yeah, I mean, the reason it's called sexually transmitted diseases is because they believe it's transmitted through the act of sex. And it's actually like a transmission. But there's a lot of... That's a whole rabbit hole, man. Spirit and Society, do you play any instruments? Yeah, I play piano. What music name in the background? This one is called Alfredo Piatti, Elegia per la morte di Anton Rubinstein. Do I like black metal? No, not really. When I was younger, I used to be more into like metal and stuff, but now I'm more into relaxing music. I'm an old man. Kai Solis says the filter brand uses Aqua Bliss. They have multiple models. I personally use SF220. We'll look that up. Aqua Bliss SF220. Oh, okay. I think I have that one, man. I just didn't know it was... That's like a 15-stage filter, is that what you said? Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I've been using that one for years, dude. I got that same one. Cool. That's good to know. Where do I get my meat? I get it from local farmers here in Omaha. DS Family Farm and Pawnee Pride. Is raw butter worth it? Yes, for sure. I mean, I think so. Raw dairy is the best. Matt F says, thanks for the Derek Nance videos. No problem, man. That was a fun experience going to visit him, man. He's such a cool dude. Yeah, that's the other thing about, is raw butter worth it? Is a lot of people, when they eat pasteurized butter, it's really bad on their stomach and stuff. Yeah, that's the only thing about, Spirit and Society. That's the only thing about those filters, that they say they last like 6 months, but I think they last more like a month. Do I practice self-defense? I don't, no. Would you recommend Nebraska as a place to live? For sure, as long as you can get over the winters. That's why most people don't like it here, because the winters get pretty long. But we're almost out of it. Really cold winters, really hot summers, really beautiful springs and falls. But the winters are about 3 to 4 months, so Gotta prepare for that. Heritage American. Due to my work, I have to shave every day, which causes a lot of skin irritation. I have had very bad razor burn, and I'm wondering if you have any suggestions on how to mitigate. I would try, if I was having issues like that, I would try like raw butter or making some kind of cream with raw tallow and rubbing that in my skin. But I would probably try raw butter first. Primal Spirit, how did you first find out about the diet and raw meats? What was I doing? I got into the carnivore diet through Sean Baker, and then I watched a Sperria video with the autogenous wonder planets in it, and then I started eating raw meat like the next day. Matt F. Also, Scott Primal is getting together a food buyers club based in Lancaster. He says raw butter for half price. Good for him, man. I can get raw butter for $5 a pound at my local farm. Yusef says, what's your best movies series? I don't really watch movies and TV anymore, dude. But my favorite movies, Tropic Thunder, Idiocracy, Apocalypto. There's 3 for you. Do I use a water filter? I just get Mountain Valley spring water. It's good water. It's good without, if water quality better in my place. Yeah, I mean, if you have good water quality, you don't need a water filter, that's for sure. We are living in Idiocracy, 100%. That movie's so funny, dude. Yeah, I love Apocalypto, man. Yeah, Mel Gibson is the GOAT, dude. That guy he eats raw meat too, which is funny. Funny coincidence. If I remember right, I think Passion of the Christ was also pretty good too, but I haven't seen that in so long. Well, I'm about to wrap it up, boys. It's about an hour and a half. I got a beautiful lady waiting for me in the other room. So I'm going to wrap her up. This has been a great stream though, guys. I appreciate everybody staying loyal, coming and hanging out with me. And look into Mel Gibson eating raw meat. I'm pretty sure he does. I think he was one of Augenus's clients. But all right, guys, I'm about to roll out, so appreciate y'all hanging, and I will try my best to do another stream here shortly in the near future. God bless you guys. Keep eating raw meat. Take care, guys.